Hey guys, Chris from Bod Squad here, how are you? Today I want to talk to you about weight. Putting on weight, losing weight and staying the same weight. We all know that we have a certain amount of calories we need each day to stay the same weight. This is called our BMR, our base metabolic rate. If we put in exactly the right amount of calories each day, we're going to not lose weight, not gain weight, but we'll stay the same. So we can imagine this is our fuel tank. This is our body's fuel tank for how many calories we need each day. If you're a bigger person, you need a big fuel tank. Medium person, medium fuel tank, or small person, small fuel tank. Or you could be a small person who runs marathons and then you'll need a bigger fuel tank, or a bigger person who sits at an office all day, you may then need a medium fuel tank instead of a really large one. If we think of one of these cups as our fuel tank, we are going to think about what's around the edges as our reserve fuel tank or our stored body fat. So this fat we've got under the skin here in our wobbly bits is around the edges, and we can actually use that. We can actually pull on that. If at some stage we don't put in enough calories, we need to pull from this reserve energy tank or from this stored body fat, and we can use that as energy. So let's imagine these are the calories we put in every day. We're going to put in exactly the right amount. Perfect. We've made good choices. We've eaten exactly what we need. We haven't gone over, we haven't gone under. Beautiful. This body fat around the edges, that stays the same. We haven't drawn on it, we haven't added to it. The problem happens when we put in a little bit more than we need, just a tiny little bit more than we need, and we get this spillover. And then what's happened is we've added to this stored body fat around the edges. And then the next day or the next week, we might put a tiny little bit more in and a tiny little bit more in. And each time we're adding to this stored body fat. We haven't had to draw from this stored body fat at all, because we're putting in enough and we're putting in a little bit extra. Now, it doesn't matter what eating plan you choose, whether you've chosen vegan, paleo, clean eating, low fat, low carbs, doesn't matter. It could be the healthiest program you could ever find. If you overeat, if you eat more than you need, it's still going to end up here. So I just want to make that clarification. So let's pour that back in there. Now we're going to look at if we put in a little bit less than we need each day, just a tiny bit less each day. We need to make up this difference. There's a little bit left there. We need to make that up by pulling from our reserve energy tank or our stored body fat. So we're going to pull from that, and then we're going to do that a little bit more the next day and a little bit more the next week, and we're going to keep pulling from that area there. Once we've got to exactly the amount of body fat we're happy with, healthy range, then we don't have to go into calorie deficit anymore. We can then go back to putting in exactly what we need, and that's a nice balance to be at. If you would like a step-by-step plan on how to get to that calorie deficit at the end of each week, how to increase your metabolism from a little storage tank to a big one by putting on some lean muscle mass, then please join us at 4weekfatflush.com.au.